when Moses brought his people into the land of Canaan, they were afraid of the people that lived there. But God reminded them that He is with them. I'm here at Lake Weatherford in Texas. We finally broke through 265. We were stuck at that weight for about a month and a half. And I would like to get all hype. I would like to be screaming my head off and telling all of y'all that I did it. At the same time though, can you be the best or can you be the strongest while only benching 270? You can't. And even though it felt good to hit 270, you know, I was there for about a month and a half and it took a lot to get there. It took a lot of focus to get there. It took a lot of just tuning in the program to get there. But I got there. And it felt good for like a couple minutes. Immediately though, what am I doing? Well, took 270 off the bar, put 275 on the bar. And you might be wondering, well, man, can't you just take a break? You hit a PR, can't you just go home? Yeah, you can. At the same time though, you know, the job's not done. The work isn't done. So, hey man, it feels good. We did the bare minimum today though. That's it, 270, that's it. We still got that second session that we're gonna go to, but bare minimum to call it a successful day. So now the goal is 275 and we can't let off the brakes or let off the gas. We cannot. Because the second that we do, well, that's another plateau. So that's the plan. If anything, we got to bring it even harder now. It took us a month and a half to hit 270. And if we don't take the proper, what's the word? If we don't approach our programming right, if we don't approach our recovery right, our nutrition right, our hydration right, that's another fucking plateau. Who's to say that after today, you know, if we don't perform, 270 is not just going to prove to be another plateau. And if that does happen, it's going to be longer than a month and a half. So, job's not over. But you know, whenever you're trying to surpass yourself every day, it can get discouraging. And you know, when I got injured, it took me a while to even bench 260. You know, I was going to the gym and I was only hitting 250, 255 on a good day. And 260 made me doubt myself a lot, you know, and then I hit 260. And then I realized something, you know, that doubt that you feel, and this doesn't just apply to the gym, this applies to, I think, everything. That fucks up your performance. You know, doubt can really get in your way. And that's why, in my opinion, if you're going to the gym and you're trying to improve yourself every day, you know, like it's like your life is on the line, there's no room for doubt. Because the second you start doubting, don't be surprised if you're in a plateau or you just stop seeing progress, you know. And I know that's like a cliche thing to say, but it's true. 260 made me doubt myself so much. And then, holy shit. Oh, no, never mind. Oh, my God. Look at that fucking snake. Is that a snake? That's a snake, dude. Maybe a cottonmouth? I don't know. Hopefully the camera picked that up. But, you know, 265, that came pretty quick after 260. But 270, man. 270. That took a lot. And if I doubted myself, if I didn't have full confidence that I had it, I wouldn't have got it. I can tell you that. You know, I was talking to one of my coworkers one day, And we're talking, I'm trying to get him into the gym or whatever. And I'm asking him, how much do you think you could deadlift? And he's like, I don't know, maybe this much. And I told him straight up, hey, he's a lighter guy. But I told him straight up, I think you got 315 in you. And right as I said that, he starts, I don't know, 315, it's kind of heavy. So what? I can tell you right now that even if you could hit 315, now you're not. Now it's guaranteed you won't fucking hit it because you're doubting yourself already. I think that's how a lot of people get stuck, They hit a wall. They stop progressing. They stop building muscle. They stop putting on strength. And that fucks with a lot of people. And that's why I think a lot of people really doubt themselves, What do you think you'd get more out of? Do you think, even if you can make progress, do you think after that first year or 2 years of lifting, you're still going to make progress if you fucking doubt yourself? Because I'll say this, once you start really making progress, there's a learning curve, There really is a learning curve. You got to manage your fatigue. You got to eat better. You got to sleep better. You might have to start taking supplements, and you can't doubt yourself on top of everything. Because, and trust me, I've experienced it, You're doing everything right. You're managing your fatigue. And you're lifting hard. And you're hydrating. At the end of the day, though, when you're going to the gym, you just don't feel it. You don't feel it. That's doubt. And that's bullshit. And that's why, and I tell this to a lot of people, or, people that are in my life. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you're hungry. It doesn't matter if you're thirsty. It doesn't matter if you had no fucking sleep. None of that shit matters. It doesn't matter if you're stressed the hell out. If you go to the gym, expect to have a good fucking day and start getting yourself into that mindset, because you're not going to perform. Past a certain point, those newbie gains or your genetics, it's only going to carry you so much. And then that's where, you dial in everything. You dial in everything, But one of the most important things to dial in is your mentality. Because you're not going to progress long if you're just pissing around. If you're not thinking about the lift. Like I said, you got to anticipate. I anticipated it. And even then, dude, I was struggling with it. There was that little doubt. If there's anything to take away from my words, I'd say every time you go to the gym, have a goal in mind and do whatever it fucking takes to achieve it. Do whatever it takes, And like, let's say you're trying to deadlift 4 plates, And this could be a good little exercise to do if you really struggle with anxiety or really struggle with doubt. Sit there in front of that barbell until you block out everyone, until you block out everything, until you forget about work, you forget about your family, you forget about your friends, you forget about everything that is not you in that bar. Sit there for as long as it fucking takes. Block everything out. Do that. And if there's hesitation, you got to know that that's doubt, like I said. And sit there for as long as you fucking have to. Until that hesitation, that anxiety either goes away, through just intense focus, or you just say to yourself, fuck it. So what? I don't care if this anxiety's here. I don't care if this hesitation's here. I'm still going to fucking horse this like my life depends on it, And I want to say that that's something that lifting taught me a lot, And that whole, not being anxious and not hesitating for the lifts, that was implicit for me, because I would get into the gym and I would need to block out everybody. I can't worry about what other people are thinking about my form, you know, about the sounds that I'm making. I can't worry about that. You know, and I'll say this from firsthand experience, dude. When I'm in the gym and I'm trying to hit a PR, oh man, I'm shaking, you know, I'm making noise, I'm grunting, you know, I look, for lack of a better word, man, I just look weird, you know what I'm saying? But I know people are seeing me doing that. I can't fucking worry about it, dude, because that's what I have to do in order to lift the most weight possible. But I'm kind of rambling right now. And I do feel like going home, but let's not forget, you know, work's not done. We got 275 now. That's on the plate. That's what's up next. And we got to try even harder now. And that's the plan. So let's see, so when Thursday rolls around, well, that's 275. We got to get it. You know, we got to get it, because it's not over until we achieve what we set out to achieve. I'm gonna let y'all go now though, because your boy needs to work on his dang cardio. Man, I'm out of breath right now, but I'm gonna let y'all go.